When I was 24, I moved to Delhi because I wanted something more than generate economic impact. In an emerging economy like India, there were so many opportunities. So I thought, this problem here in India can be solved with this technology here in Europe, so why not to get them together and make them work? After 8 or 9 years, the business was successful. I had a very talented team. We were getting a lot of queries and business projects and so on, but they are not so impact-driven. I felt quite empty myself. I realized the idea that I had in mind when I moved to Delhi, I didn't fulfill that.
I remember having a computer at my home, and it was like my father's computer, and I wasn't supposed to touch it. And it wasn't for me, it wasn't for my mom. There is all these stereotypes you create when you're a child. You already decide what is a male job and what is a female job. We should be able to do anything we feel we want to, not just following the path that society has told us we have to follow. I guess when someone is telling you, you don't have to do this, then I wanted to do it.
I was born in a very small village in the central part of Ghana. Basically, we deal with farming and agriculture, nothing special from that. One day I was playing football and we saw an airplane fly in the sky. I couldn't understand why the airplane was able to fly, why my toy car could not move by itself. Unfortunately, we didn't have access to computers, no books, no internet, no TV, no radio. I could assure you that in my village, I never go to bed without eating. But this curiosity was so huge. It took me to Libya and later on to cross the Mediterranean Sea to Europe when I was 13 years.
My parents looked at me as if I was crazy when I told them I was quitting my own company. In this kind of move, I met Eloise, who is now my business partner. We sat down, we thought, okay, what do we want to do? Well, we really want to generate impact in the most vulnerable population, which is in emerging economies, especially in the rural areas. We started doing these interviews with farmers. We were asking them, what is the challenge you face every day? People were saying, like, straight away, we can't predict the weather anymore. Agriculture generates 30% of the greenhouse emissions in the world, which generate climate change. I found out how much climate change is actually affecting poverty. This is the vicious cycle we needed to break.
The day I decided to become an entrepreneur, I remember going to these conferences. I was normally the only woman, and then is when I said, okay, if I'm gonna become an entrepreneur, then I'm gonna be fighting for women's rights and having same opportunities. I think every week I get like weird faces about it. It's not a threat when we talk about feminism. It's freedom, it's equal rights. 1 out of 5 top positions in the tech field are occupied by women, just 1 out of 5. Our society is going to be very technological. We're not going to be participating on the creation of this new world, of this new society. This always worries me, like, no, we have to be there.
Sometimes I still need to hit myself to feel like I'm still alive. The only way to get to Libya was to cross the Sahara Desert. After a couple of hours, we was abandoned. I was the youngest among the 46 people. Only 6 of us was able to survive. After 4 years living in Libya in the terrible conditions, with a small boat we have to try to cross the Mediterranean Sea. I tried twice. Most of my friends died on the way. I was able to survive, to give a voice to all the other people who are not able to make it.
Annually, rice production produces around 150 million tons of rice husk. People burn it open air, generating a lot of air pollution and greenhouse emissions. No one in the world has used this biomass to generate a sustainable economic business model integrated in the rice production. Husk Ventures transforms rice husk into biochar, which is used for increasing the yields of organic farmers. Every ton that we produce, we offset 3 tons of CO2 emissions, so we are carbon negative. Charities and non-profit organizations have a very important role in society, but where there is a possibility to do it through business, you become more autonomous, more independent.
We wanted to create this crowdfunding platform for young people that wanted to learn tech. After talking with girls from our community, they told us, I would like to have an environment that maybe is only us, because when I go to these schools, normally I'm going to be the only one. We don't feel comfortable. And it was that precise moment we saw it let's do it. The learning space that is only for women. Artificial intelligence is going to be the next big thing. Let's teach women in that field and let's be part of this new world. I get a lot of critiques, why are you doing that? You are sexist, without asking. But to have this kind of safe space is encouraging a lot of women to think oh yeah, I can do it and I want to be part of this and I'm going to try.
If any of these people who are always risking our lives coming here knew the reality of this situation, I promise you they would think twice before starting the journey. The best way to give access to this information is through IT. I had the idea that I need to share this opportunity to other young people in Ghana. The reality is that I'm not the Bill Gates of Africa. I'm a bicycle mechanic. It's not easy, I need to find some support. I realized that companies change their computers every 4 or 5 years. I collect used computers from company, then we ship them to Ghana and create computer lab. And right now, we have 5 different labs and more than 11,000 students have passed through our computer lessons.
We have trained in the last quarter 50 women. We have a community of 5,000 women. We accomplished that in a year. Our core statement is shaping the futures of women in technology. There is not just one future. There is not just one kind of women. You decide.
The best achievement I've made in NASCO is really proving to these 11,000 children that the best they can do for their lives is to save their lives in Ghana. The opportunity, the paradise is down there. I'm not going there to tell them not to come because I've passed through all this. Education is the key. I just give access, just feed their minds.
When I started having this idea, I was a teenager. I believe either I'm still a teenager or the world has changed and people started to understand that actually purpose-driven business, it is possible, and not only possible, it is actually mandatory.
Four years from now, the Great Barrier Reef will be thriving once again.
4 years from now, plastic will be obsolete.
4 years from now, all money will be virtual.
4 years from now, there will be no more fake news.
4 years from now, tech will be used to tackle homelessness.
4 years from now, CO2 emissions will have reduced up to 50%.
From now, commuting won't exist anymore.
4 years from now, we'll plant more trees than we cut down.
4 years from now, meat will be 3D printed.
4 years from now, companies will have at least 50% of women in leadership positions.
4 years from now, mental health care will be available 24/7 through an app.
4 years from now, a patient will recover from Alzheimer's.
4 years from now, we will be taking trips to the moon.
4 years from now, most resources will be obtained by recycling.
4 years from now, diversity in tech will be the norm, not the exception.
4 years from now, scientists will have the definitive cure for chronic myeloid leukemia. 4 years from now, robots with AI will be creating art.
4 years from now, Moscow won't be the only one reaching for
4
Mars.
years from now, cars will drive you to work.
4 years from now, we'll eat insects instead of cows.
4 years from now, supercomputers will be everywhere.
4 years from now, designing around a circular economy will have gone mainstream.
4 years from now, we will have recycled more than 1 billion digital devices.
4 years from now, global food waste will be reduced by 50%.
4 years from now, the world's oceans will start healing.
4 years from now, electric cars will be affordable for everyone.
4 years from now, 100,000 kids in Guatemala will have access to a better education.
4 years from now, I want to have impacted 5 million women in the sector of artificial intelligence.
4 years from now, we will be supporting 5,000 organic farmers and their families.
4 years from now, Ghana will be the next Silicon Valley of Africa.